Ladies and gentlemen, this article is from AL.com. Alabama high school students film using racist slurs. I'm gonna go ahead and read this article because this is really interesting. Because I did a video earlier. When people talk about off-campus incidents, when you have a neo-Nazi doing the Nazi salute and doing the Sikh Heil chant at a party. Now this article is from out. This incident happens in Alabama, um, and it says that a video showing Alabama high school students drinking and using racist slurs at off-campus gatherings surfaced on social media over the weekend. Now, first the incident in California, now Alabama. And it continues, says in the video shared on Facebook and other platforms, a group of white students are going back and forth talking about the Holocaust, about Jew people, about African Americans using the N word multiple times in a derogatory manner. FNs, F Jews, one boy said. And she said Jews are fine because they're white. A girl said we just need the N gone. The teens attended school in Hoover, a suburb south of Birmingham. Hoover City Councilman Derek Murphy said, "I'm saddened by the words and thoughts of these children. There is no excuse for hate speech or hate for that matter. This does not represent our city." Hoover Superintendent Kathy Murray, who was not related to the councilman, told AL.com, "We are exceptionally sad and disappointed that this would either be the attitude of some of our young people or whatever would prompt them to have such conversations." Get this, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm about to read to you next, it will blow your mind. It also says the father of one of the students, Gordon Stewart, issued an apology for his daughter's behavior on his business social media accounts. Stewart is the owner of Hoover Toyota. That's right, everybody. He's the owner of Hoover Toyota, and it turns out that one of the person that said the N word was his daughter. Interesting. It continues, says Superintendent Murphy said she held a conference call early Monday morning with both Hoover and Spain Park High School principals, confirming the students are enrolled in the school system. Murphy was sent the video around 11 p.m. Sunday night, she said. Any disciplinary actions would take into account that the event happened off school property. To the extent that matter happened off campus and some residual impact in the school itself, Murphy said, will affect what action does it take. And I'm going to stop you right there. Just like the California incident, I told y'all nothing going to happen in the California incident when they, got busted at a party. Because I did the story earlier this morning when they got busted at a party, right? Call them Sikh Heil, doing a Nazi salute at a party when it's supposed to be underage drinking, and that's in California. Now another incident similar happened in Alabama. Now they say that we're gonna, just like the talking point, just like I told you before, those same talking points. Well, we're gonna investigate further, and like I said before, the California thing, they're not gonna do a damn thing about this. They're not, because they're gonna say it's free speech. It's all happened off campus. That's all they're gonna say. It happened off campus, freedom of speech, just like it happened in California, and now it happens in Alabama. And I'm continuing reading this. It said, "It certainly speaks to the work we have before us," she said. The father, which I told you before, Gordon Stewart, who was the father of the daughter that said the N word, issued an apology for his daughter's behavior on his business social media account. Again, Stewart is the owner of Hoover Toyota, and this what he says on his Facebook account. So he issued an apology, saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry, it shouldn't happen like that." Wow. It continues to say, Spain Park High School senior Unique Symptom, in a statement to AL, said, "Honestly, I am so sick and tired of going through the same routine at Spain Park High School. Simpson, who is African American, said multiple incidents happened at the school that she feels have not been handled well by administrators. I'm going to stop you right there. And she's absolutely right. And it's not going to handle by administrators because let's just say hypothetical if the role were reversed, right? Let's say if Black Lives Matter, and I'm not gonna say what they're not gonna do, but they was chanting like honky or whitey or stuff like that, they'll be suspended, they'll be expelled, I'm telling you, they're gonna crack down on them. But again, just like I told you with the California high school incident in Orange County, this high school in Alabama will do. Nothing's gonna be done with them either. I'm telling you, nothing's gonna be done about this. She continues to say, "Is I've been through so many personal experiences." She said this needs to stop, and says Spain Park is a 1,600 student 9th through 12th grade school, one of the two high schools in the 13,900 student district. The student, get this, the school has a student body that is predominantly 61% white, 22% black, 6% Asian, and 6% Hispanic, and 5% mixed race. So there you have it. This is why nothing's going to be done in this case either. Because it's predominantly white high school. You saw it for yourself, folks. 61% are white students. 22% black. So nothing's going to be done about this. Even though you try to complain to the school administrators and everything else, nothing's going to be done about this. It's going to be petitions, walkout protests, that pressure to these administrators to finally say, you know what, we ain't going to take this. Something must be done. And until that happens, nothing else going to be done about it. So continue reading. Say Hoover Mayor Frank Brocato issued a statement on Twitter Monday afternoon saying the city of Hoover condemns racism and hatred in every form at any place or time. We are deeply disturbed by a video that is currently circulating on social media. Our city is a place for all people to live, work, and play in a safe environment. That's the mayor of Hoover. And it says that the composition of student body district-wide is 55% white, 55% white, 25% black, 8% Hispanic, and 7% Asian. So it's a predominantly white school. And people just ain't taking this racism seriously. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep moving, and we already know 5% multi-race, which is biracial. So I'm gonna continue finish. It said just under 20% of Spain Park High School students' body is eligible for free or reduced price meals, according to numbers provided by the Alabama State Department of Education. Spain Park High School principal Larry Gingrosio could not be reached for comment prior to the publication of this article. Of course not, because basically the media is pressuring him, ask what are you going to do about it. He didn't want to talk about it. So, the thing of it is that when you have a predominantly white high school, ain't nothing going to be, and really nothing going to be done about this again, because Alabama is one of the states that's racist anyway. So you have to understand that you have white supremacists in the school board. So obviously they're not going to do anything about it, because if they did, they would have cracked down on them. Which, of course, like I told you, the California situation, this Alabama situation is not going to change either. Which I'm going to continue reading. It says Superintendent Murphy said the district director of Equality and Educational Initiative, Terry Lamar, is pulling us to the table for us to have some very critical and very courageous conversations about race relations in our schools and in our city. Lamar is directing the district's effort to meet obligations for federal school desegregation order resulting from a 1965 court case. Murphy said she recognizes that Hoover is not the only place dealing with race issues. School ends up being a microcosm. I can't pronounce this. Excuse me. Microcosm of something much bigger, she said. We want to be advocates for making sure we are respecting our children. The city is still dealing with the aftermath of shooting of E.J. Bradford on Thanksgiving night, where a white Hoover police shot Bradford, an African American, inside the River Chase Galleria Mall. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall said in the February shooting was justified. The shooting led to protests in Hoover. I'm gonna stop you right there. Hoover, Alabama, is racist, and people can try to sugarcoat it, try to deny it, try to lie, but let's just call it the way it is. That town is racist. If you allow, and this is the same incident that happened that the police shot E.J. Bradford 5 times in the back, and the shooting was justified, and now you have a lot of white students that come from a high school, Hoover High School, that's allowing this to happen. What do you expect? So, and this is even more interesting. It says a Hoover High School teacher resigned in 2018. Get this, after using a racial slur to describe a student's music choice during school. And continues to say, as a parent, Councilman Murphy said, I sincerely pray for all the parents represented in the video, whether they are also struggling with the same hate or are simply blindsided by children's thoughts. I fully confidence in school leadership on handling the situation. The district sent the following an email to the parents and media Monday afternoon. It says, we have been made aware of a recently posted video that features Hoover school system students who appear to be engaged in disturbing conduct. The activity apparently took place this past weekend at a private residence, although it was not part of any school function. The conduct in question is in direct conflict with our school system's values and its mission. Our school administrators are carefully investigating the situation in order to assess our options. Under the Code of Student Conduct, in the meantime, the Hoover school community may be assured that the board, together with its administrative and instructional staff, remains steadfastly committed to maintaining and strengthening a school culture that encourages and embraces diversity, inclusiveness, and tolerance. So that was the end of the article. I'm going to tell you something right now. I told you, like I did with my previous video with the California incident, with the Nazi salute at a private party. When you had those Nazi, when you had those red plastic cups and posted a Nazi sign on those plastic cups and say, "See," well, I'm not going to even say the name because I don't want to, offend folks, but you already know what I'm about to say. See, this is what I'm saying. It happened nationwide, and nothing's going to be done because two things. They're going to say, and this is the truth, they're going to say is it's free speech, and it happened off campus. Those are 2 words. If it goes to court, their lawyers who's involved in this shenanigans will say the exact same thing. It happened off campus, and it's freedom of speech. And the judge is going to say, okay, you're right, blah, blah, blah. A slap in the wrist. That's what's going to happen. And see, now you did, and then see, this one thing I didn't know is that Hoover, Alabama is the same place that E.J. Bradford was murdered at that in Thanksgiving of last year at that mall. So you see, and get this, Hoover High School is predominantly white high school. So there's nothing's going to happen. Only thing that may happen is when you have protests, boycotts, or walkouts, class walkouts to say, we're done with this racism, we're done with this bigotry. I'm walking out of classroom and we're going to protest. And then they're going to put pressure on these school administrators to change. But until that happens, nothing's going to be done. Now, this is the second school in a different state, happened over the weekend. The Orange County, California incident with the Nazi salute, and now the Alabama situation when they said the N-word. So a lot of people trying to cover this up, but again, nothing's going to be done. It's going to be a slap on the wrist and say, well, this is basically, again, like I said, it's basically a freedom of speech, and the incident happened off campus. Now, they're going to say, well, we're appalled that it happened, but again, actions speak louder than words. When are you going to take action on this? But again, they're not going to take action because again, they're going to probably say, well, they probably might, they might not even do anything to those students that's doing this. But in the meantime, the owner of that Hoover Toyota said again, you saw that sent an apology to the people, saying my daughter. I mean, he apologized because his daughter was in that video. So, ladies and gentlemen, until things change, which I believe is not going to change, because I told you, you're dealing with high school students now, and just like my mother always told me, it's not what you do, it's the way you've been raised. These parents, you cannot be born racist, but these parents taught them to be racist, and now everything is coming out. And now, since everything is coming out, everything's on social media, everything's on media, period, then they had no choice but to apologize or do whatever. And the thing of it is that now we already know that Hoover, Alabama is racist and blah, 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 blah. So tell me what you think about this. Share this story. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the like button, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.